we consider. So Dr. Aitani is an IC alumni, IC parent, and she's a professor at the Faculty of Engineering at AUB. And you correct me if I make any mistakes, Dr. Aitani. So thank you for joining us today. And so I'm doing the introduction on behalf of myself, head of Lebanese Back Program, and Mr. Barada, head of CPP, and Ms. Sher, who is the interdisciplinary project coordinator. And I want to thank the Civic Engagement, Community Service Department, and Service Learning for joining Rindala, Cynthia, Khalil, Riyad, Sausan, everyone, and of course the advisors and the students. Before giving you the floor to start your presentation, Dr. Aitani, I would like to explain to the students in simple words why they are here today, because it's the first time they hear of anything. So as you know, dear students, we want you always to excel beyond the classroom, and we want you to play your role in the community and to acquire some skills that will be useful in life, 21st century skills. So we want to offer you opportunities beyond what you do in class and beyond what you do in the community service hours as well. So Shabab Lab, and here I'm reading so that I don't make a mistake, is the first social innovation e-learning platform in the Arab world. We had the chance to work with them before at IC, and Ali Ghandour Center also is cooperating with them now. We're launching this at IC as part of the IC Responsibility Initiative. Now I promise I will start speaking English, not Chinese, so I will use simple words. So for those of you who are interested in going beyond the classroom, we are offering the possibility of taking this training and doing an interdisciplinary project on an optional basis this year. You will be mentored partially by the team of Shabab Lab. Of course, when you take the course that Dr. Aitani will be explaining, the 20 hours course or so, in which you will be learning some problem solving skills, some technology skills, some web design skills, and some entrepreneurship skills. In the part where you will come up with the ideas, you will be followed up by Mrs. Mahash Air, and she has her video on so that you can put a face to the name or a name to the face. She will help you in coming up with original ideas. And of course, we will need some teachers at some point for consultancy, maybe depending on the interdisciplinary project, what disciplines it will cover. And in the action part, because you want to, when you devise the project and when you do the business plan for the project, at some point we would like you to take an action. And it's here that we will use the help of the precast group, Ms. Asil, sorry, I forgot to mention your name, Mr. Shirazi, Sausan, Cynthia, of course, under the leadership of Ms. Rindal Abdelbari. There will be more sessions to explain this for those of you who are interested. So I will give the floor now to Dr. Aitani to explain to you what is it about, this Shabab Lab, and later maybe Ms. Maha and Ms. Aitani and myself will update you on, maybe we'll do a survey, we'll see, Mona, how to do it, to see who is interested. Okay, maybe you can figure it out yourself and Maha. Okay, and thank you for being a great audience. We'll leave the questions till the end. Now I'll give the floor to Dr. Aitani.
Thank you so much, Madda. It's always a pleasure to come back to IC, whether physically or virtually, talk to the students. It is my alma mater, and I'm very proud to be an IC scholar, alumna, and very loyal, I would say, part of IC's community. And I've seen over the years how IC has been adopting really the values that Shabab Lab is also talking about, like sustainability, citizenship, responsibility, think globally, act locally. So all of these are part of what we are doing at Shabab Lab. And just as a small correction, I'm currently teaching at the Alayan School of Business. I joined them last fall, but I have been for the past 10 years at the School of Engineering. So I'm also very loyal to that, and it's always going to be part of who I am. Hello guys, I'm really happy to be talking to you today, and I'm going to tell you more about our program for grade 10 for this year. It's called Web for Change. Some of you maybe are already taking this because probably you're part of the Ali Ghandour Center, or you've heard from your classmates about it if they are in the Ali Ghandour Center, or if you know someone who completed the program last year and they were in grade 10 and now they're in grade 11, probably you have also heard about it. So now you also have the chance to be part of it yourself. So I just want to start off by saying that Shabab Lab comes to solve a pressing need that we see in terms of the education system. There is a huge gap between what schools are able to offer for many reasons. Of course, a huge reason is what the governments enforce as curricula, the national exams and so on that I'm sure you started thinking about and hearing about from your teachers. Also, the fast-paced technology that is moving at a pace that no one can really cope with. So for many reasons, education is not coping with the real needs of the 21st century in terms of jobs, skills, and competencies that you should exhibit after you graduate and you are ready to enter the workforce. One example is that some of the most highly demanded jobs of today did not exist 10 years ago. So imagine after 10 years from now, we'll have so many jobs that we don't know about today. And of course, after 10 years from now, you would still be at the beginning of almost at the beginning of your career. So this is challenging to everyone, but based on all the studies, all the research that was done, we can work on a solution. And this solution is really helping these educational institutions to bridge the gap between what they offer and what the workplace is expecting. And many of these progressive schools, such as IC, are already aware of and are working on bridging the gap by providing you with important soft skills, the certain mindset, working on all community service projects, technology projects, etc. But we as well are adding even more to this and further helping the schools, the teachers to really help bridge this gap and make you aware of what to expect in the near future. So I'll give you one example from our alumni. So we launched in 2017. We launched as an institution that does face-to-face programs. We started with summer programs very simply. And we had some very loyal participants. One of them was called Tariq. You can see him here in the pictures. He first joined us in summer 2018, way before COVID. And he discovered a passion for robotics through a program called Robotics for Good that was in partnership with Touch, the mobile operator company. Tariq had the chance to pitch in the Grand Sarai that summer in front of high-level representatives in Lebanon. He also joined us again for a spring program called Virtual Reality for Good, where he had the chance to come up with a VR app to help solve mental health issues for youth. So this was also a great experience, a 4-day intensive program, and he was still exploring his love for technology, what he wanted to do later on. He was still in grade 10. And then he joined us again for a third program that is more focused on Internet of Things for the environment. And he won actually a first place award along with his teammate after they created an illegal hunting detection device to be placed in Lebanon and the places where people usually go and hunt illegally. And he obtained a patent. He registered a patent at the Ministry of Economy in Lebanon with his invention. So this is a huge achievement for someone who's still, at high school. But his journey continued, and he was also starting to find his passion in entrepreneurship and in the business side, other than the technical side, which he has kept working on and kept on taking more courses and advancing his knowledge and doing more practice with Arduino, robotics, sensors, etc. He took with us a program called Rethinking Politics Through Social Innovation in summer 2020. It was online because COVID had already started. He also won first place with his team. Yara Dargham, you can see her, she's now an anchor on LBC News, and she was also with his team. They won a trip to Berlin for the Youth Politics Forum. And finally, he sent us at one point that he was accepted for the Young Leaders Conference hosted by George Mason University in the US. And now he's doing his university degree in a reputable university on a full scholarship. And this is all thanks to all of these experiences that he took on over and beyond what was asked from him at school. So this is just one example of what you can do and how you can make yourself stand out against your peers. I'm sure no one in Tariq schools was able to do what he did. And this was a personal choice. Like, he decided to take the extra mile, basically. How are we helping in this journey now? We are providing this to even a much bigger audience thanks to going online. So even before COVID, we realized that if we want to make our solution scalable, we have to go online. And to be very honest, COVID for us was the biggest gift ever. And we really made use of this opportunity. We launched our e-learning platform and we directly started piloting it with different schools. And we are glad that IC was one of them last year. And this year we have even more schools in Lebanon and beyond Lebanon who are part of this. So our vision is to become the Coursera for high schoolers in the Arab world. So we are starting with school programs, very, as Ms. Malda said, interdisciplinary, community focused, technology focused, but with time, you will see that we will have many other courses as well on the platform that can help you in your personal journey and in finding your passion and in finding your career, basically. I'm going to talk more about our unique approach when it comes to our school program. So the program that we are offering now for you, for your grade. What's unique about it is that it's not a theoretical program. It's not a program where you just learn passively about certain topics and important, trends, but it is a hands-on and a project-based program. So you are expected all along the program to be applying what you're learning throughout these micro-learning asynchronous modules. So yes, it's true, this is asynchronous, meaning that we will not have Zoom sessions all the time. We'll only have one session every month, and it's optional, where we bring guest speakers that talk about interesting topics that complement the material you are covering in the course. But you're self-paced, you do it at your own pace. Of course, there are deadlines, and I'm going to talk about this later on. But it's a whole journey, and it is very purposeful. So we start off with you finding a certain problem after you understand what's social innovation, what's design thinking, how can I apply the design thinking framework to find a real problem in my own community. And it always should be in your own community, not in some other community in the world. After you do that, through doing market research and following multiple ideation techniques, you will come up with a solution in partnership with your teammates. So you will create a team after you come up with a problem, after you see what you're passionate about, what's something that excites you. You will share these problems with your classmates and see who makes a good fit to join your team. These people should have complementary skills. For example, if you're passionate about technology and coding, you should have someone join you who is passionate about business and entrepreneurship, and someone who's passionate about communications, talking to people, doing research, etc. So you shouldn't be like three people who are, into web design or only into business. But you should always diversify the teammates in order to have best solutions in the project. After you find the solution, you will actually learn how to develop a prototype, a real prototype. For this grade, for grade 10, you're doing web development. And what I like about this is that this is a skill that will stay with you even after the program is over. Meaning that if you want to create a personal website, you will be able to do that. Personal branding nowadays is very important, and you should always keep that in mind. If you want to create a website for any project or any initiative you have in mind, whether it's for business or for fun or for a community aspect or for maybe a school project, you can do that. Also, more interestingly, we have had alumni who started generating income from creating websites for family and friends and small businesses who wanted someone to build a small website, but they had a limited budget. And usually they get paid in fresh dollars. So that's really good income. So this is something that will stay with you and you can use even after the program is done. And finally, you will add an entrepreneurial layer, a business layer over this problem, solution, and prototype that you have developed to make it a sustainable solution. So one of the problems we were witnessing with other schools before they adopted our methodology is that their community service projects were short-lived. So they were like, okay, I go clean up the beach, next week, and you'll see the waste accumulating all over again. So it's not a sustainable solution. So we walk you through making this a sustainable solution by adding a business layer, by thinking of how do I generate revenues to make this sustainable? How do I find clients? How do I get to these markets? What do I need to incur in terms of costs? And how do I measure my success? So all of these, you will create a business plan for your solution and finally pitch it. And there is a difference between a pitch and a presentation. A pitch usually is shorter, it's much more visual, and it's very direct to the point, and it's like you're selling something. You're trying to convince people about your idea, about your initiative, about why this has real impact. So this is a journey that our students love and the teachers love as well, and I hope you will be enjoying it too. As I mentioned, we started offline, we then moved online, and now in addition to English, we are also planning to add more and more Arabic content to be more inclusive, especially for less privileged communities in the Arab world. And ultimately, what we're trying to achieve here is to plant the seed of social entrepreneurship in you guys. So we're not expecting you, after the program is done, to directly become social entrepreneurs. And yes, by the way, some of our alumni have started businesses right away. And this is always a plus for us, but it's not our only goal or our direct goal. So it's always like a nice surprise to have, and we support this. But it's not the main objective. We don't want you to necessarily start a business right away. If you want to, of course, we will support you and we'll be very happy for you. We also want to foster community engagement and problem solving. I mean, we know that especially privileged youth feel disconnected from social problems, and sometimes they feel helpless about them. And we are empowering you to find creative, innovative solutions to real problems. And this is something that all schools are striving to have. We're providing you with practice-based entrepreneurship learning. So instead of me telling you what is entrepreneurship, these are the different types of entrepreneurship, this is how they do it in Silicon Valley, we are telling you to do it and implement it right away. So you are actually applying these concepts and you are creating a business plan to your project. And finally, we're promoting technology for good. I know that most of you are digital natives. You've had, a cell phone in your hand since you were babies. And this is something that now we're all addicted to, but we want you also to understand and to know firsthand, not just I know it as a concept, to do it, that technology could be used for social good. And actually, we as humans decide what we want to do with technology. And you are going to create websites for the social good. We are a startup ourselves, so we are walking the talk. We get into competitions, we do pitching all the time. We're going to Saudi Arabia to pitch in the MIT Arab Startup Competition next month. So we are proud of this, and we're proud of our successes and achievements so far, and of our track record of partnerships and client base, and our high completion rate. Despite that, again, our programs are online. This is a demo, like this is how the website looks like. It's really friendly, easy to use, and we offer you 24/7 technical support in case anything is not working. We can definitely help you out with it. This is the Web for Change program, which is the grade 10 programs, how it looks like. It will have different modules. Under each module, you'll have different lessons. For example, under the Introduction to Social Innovation, you have 12 lessons. Some of these lessons are maybe like a small assessment survey. Some of them could be a very small quiz. Each lesson is maximum 5 minutes long. So we use micro-learning, as I mentioned, which is the best practice in e-learning nowadays. And most our lessons are video-based. So it will be, you'll be watching a video, and it's an interactive video, meaning that during the video, you'll be asked some questions, you have to answer them. And these questions range from multiple choice questions to fill in the blanks, to true or false, and other questions as well. So again, it's very important to understand the goals and objectives behind this program if you decide to join, of course. And by the way, in Bromana High School, they had planned earlier to make this mandatory, and then the principal changed and they decided to make it optional due to budget cuts or something like that. And I went to their school, I gave an info session, and yesterday the supervisor sent us that 73 students have enrolled, and we were like thrilled. And by the way, they don't have as many students as you, like their school is smaller. And despite of making it optional, most of the students decided to join, and we're really happy about that. We wish to see, you know, similar results here as well. So Web for Change is all about creating a web application that solves an environmental problem in your community. So for this grade, we are focusing on environmental SDGs, and there are many, by the way, so don't feel like restricted or limited. We here talk about clean energy, we talk about the oceans, land, air, we talk about sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. So it's, you know, it's very, very diverse and somehow broad. This is why we always ask you to be very specific. So you cannot solve the, you know, the world's environmental problems or Lebanon's environmental problems. It's too big. You will learn WordPress, which is a very easy to use tool for you to create websites. You will be doing community engagement, and this is the whole idea behind it, while learning social entrepreneurship, learning technology skills, and you will be part of a regional competition. So after you pitch your ideas and your final solutions, these will be reviewed, and you will get the chance to be part of regional competition. Last year, there was one team from IC that was in the top 3, and each one of the students won $50 in cash prizes because they ranked in the top 3. So this is the outline of the program. I don't need to go through it, but whatever has check mark next to it, and I see there's a problem with the numbering, sorry about that. Whenever there's a check, this is something you need to submit. So it's not just like passive learning, you actually need to submit at certain points in time actual work. And usually the work is very simple in terms of, like, we have a very specific template. Usually it's one slide. It's like one sentence you need to fill and customize according to your own problem, your own need, your own solution. And we give you examples of what makes, you know, a good one, what makes, what are some things to avoid, you know, some pitfalls you need to be aware of, etc. So you have to identify an environmental problem, you have to form a team, you have to upload a solution idea, while of course applying all the concepts that you will be learning. You will create a business plan, you will build a prototype, and finally upload your video pitch. So these are the milestones. We will be sharing these. I mean, this will change slightly because we were supposed to start on Monday, January 24th, but we face some delays due to, you know, COVID cases rising in schools and so on. But we typically wish to finish the program before May, because I know that in May you usually start with your exams, and we don't want to overlap. And one important thing is that in case you have, you know, a week when you have lots of exams for your class, you simply tell your teacher or supervisor, like, we're overwhelmed with exams, and they can move the deadlines. So these deadlines are not set in stone in any way. They're just there for you to make sure you are, progressing well and not lagging behind. Otherwise, it will be difficult to finish on time. So we will be doing this. So what's next? Basically, what we will be sending you an email through your teachers, of course, with a form that you can fill, a form that's it's like an expression of interest to join the program, like asking you some more questions to get your contact info in order for us to create an account for you on the platform. Once this is done, you will receive an email from us with your credentials, so your login and username, which you can change your password, of course. Check your spam, because many times this goes to spam. And once you're on the platform, you can customize and personalize your account. So this is my account, for example. You can see I've added my profile picture and a cover photo. And you can start following us from now on our social media, because we also often share tips and tricks about social innovation, entrepreneurship, technology for good. So everything I was talking about, we also do a lot of it for free on social media, and sometimes we have like small free courses on Shabab Lab as well. So if you're interested in these topics, definitely make sure to follow us. And we always share about other opportunities, programs, competitions, local, regional, and global also. And as Ms. Malda said, this shouldn't take more than 20 hours in total for you to finish the program on the platform itself, but we expect another equivalent number of hours where you actually work on the project. So this is really important. And I know that at one point, sometimes you might tend to forget that this is all about application. This is why I'm here emphasizing this point. It's all about the application. So I want you to apply what you're learning and not just learn the concepts. Yeah, and I'm ready for any questions. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Mona. So before giving the floor to students who have questions, just for me to wrap up to see if I understood well and to simplify to the students. So step number one, we will send through the advisor the link for those who are interested to sign up. Right. This is one. Yeah. Step number two is that they follow the course, the modules at their convenience. Of course, there is a deadline at the end, but exactly. They can follow the course at their convenience, meaning from the comfort of their homes at night and afternoon and the weekend, whenever they want. Three, in groups. So they will find a group, let's say, of 3 or 4 students who are interested, and they come up with an idea that they pitch.
This will come later on in the course, so they don't have to have a team right now. Not right now. This will come during later. The program. So even if some of your closest friends are not part of the program, this is not an issue. You will still be grouped with other students who have similar interests, a similar problem. So we have a whole methodology to do this team formation.
Okay, great. So do you have any questions, students, CPP, Lebanese Bar? Anyone?
Yes, hi, Ms. Mona.
Go ahead. Hi, Mr. Mohamdan is our IT teacher and advisor.
Great, nice to meet you.
Yes, hi, Ms. Mona. So I have a question. Is it only about social entrepreneurship, or it's all SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals?
Yeah, we have this interdisciplinary approach. So we introduced SDGs. They will work to solve a problem related to the SDGs, and they will be applying social entrepreneurship and technology. So this is what's really different about our program from other programs. It's not just SDGs or just entrepreneurship or just technology. We've integrated these in a very well-designed and coherent way. And we have tested this over the past 4 years. So we know that it works, and it works really nicely with the students, because now everything makes more sense to them and they know how to apply it in a real world context. So yes, there is SDGs, there is social entrepreneurship, but even let's say someone says, I'm really more interested in entrepreneurship. rather than social entrepreneurship, you will still gain those skills, because we will talk about this in the modules. Like social entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship plus. So you're already gaining the entrepreneurship skills, but you're adding a bit extra because you want to make this a social, a high, impact business or initiative. So even if you're just guys interested in entrepreneurship and technology, you can still benefit a lot from this program. So don't just think of it as it's just for like, community and social. Yes, this is like one of the main goals, but also you will gain a lot of other skills that you can use later on beyond this like social arena.
Yeah. So let me tell you that in class during technology periods, we have introduced what's entrepreneurship, and we've talked about so many entrepreneurs, and we've talked about how to close the gap between, in technology using IoT. We've talked about Internet of Things. Students also prepared the best practices in presenting, and they presented a video. And there is next term, they have a small pitch deck to present in class. I'll be introducing pitch decks for them. But I wanted to ask about the business model. Do you use a certain business model, the lean canvas model, or just lean canvas?
We are using the social lean canvas, which is the lean canvas, but it has 2 additional components, which are purpose and impact. Yes.
So why I'm asking this is because I want to encourage all the students in grade 10 to go in, because most of the things that we have discussed in class are in these courses. And I want to tell you, Ms. Muna, good luck in all the leagues and in the ArabNet leagues. Yeah. So can teachers also be invited into these courses so that if students...
Yes, for
yes, of course, we will talk about this, but of course, they have a training for trainers. And thank you for your question, Rawad, although part of it was in Chinese, but we could understand a little bit.
For me, it was music to my ears.
The students know, Ms. Malda, the students know all this. That's
I'm sure they're smarter. They are smarter than us. I know, Rawad.
And we've covered most of it in class.
Yeah. That's
great. It's an opportunity to apply all of this again, and like I know from my kids who are a bit younger, these concepts should be reinforced once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. It's not enough to like, halas, I've seen the pitch deck once in my life. No, you have to do this over and over. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I teach entrepreneurship at AUB. I've been in this field for 7 years. I still myself get into training programs, acceleration, incubation programs. I do a lot of pitches myself, because this is how you really learn, by doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, of course, repetition is the key. So students, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask Dr. Aitani? Okay, if not, Dr. Aitana, I don't know if you did it already. So can you give us a simple example just of one idea?
Yes, of course.
And then I promise the student they will be liberated.
So last year, the IC group that ranked in the top 3 teams, they worked on the problem of pollution in hike trails in Lebanon. So one of them was really into hiking, and whenever she went, to the Barouk Reserve and I don't know where, she would be frustrated from like, the like waste that is thrown here and there. And she was like, we should preserve nature, we should raise awareness. And she knows that there's this whole hikers group in Lebanon that would be supportive. So she actually talked with her, of course, teammates with some reserves, and she partnered with them. She put together a small website where they keep track of, which trails are polluted and need cleaning up, and they would organize hikes, especially to clean up these trails, so they keep, nature beautiful and keep this pleasant experience for hikers, because we don't want to drive hikers away from this hobby. And again, this was, if you could see, the website is part of the solution. So, and this is what I really need to highlight, that the website or the technology component does not need to be the entire solution. It could be part of it. It could be complementary. Sometimes it could be the solution itself, right? But many times it could be a part of the solution, because this is the website that will help us know where the pollution is and organize these, cleanup missions to go and clean up. But it's like a tool for us to actually go physically and do the preservation of nature. So it's called Pro Reserves, and yeah, they were one of the winners. And we have, by the way, on the platform, shabablab.com/series, we also have demonstrated different success stories from real Arab social entrepreneurs in different countries, not just in Lebanon. Many of them have used web as the technology. Some others have used IoT, artificial intelligence, and other technologies. So the students can definitely take a look. And we have something called Pitch Series, where we also highlight the best projects from the past, from Shabab Lab, and we present the pitch of the students that won in the past. So all like new students can take a look at those. They're like, you can access them now. They're like, they don't need even a login. And yeah, take some good ideas and see how you can up that, like, you know, make it even better.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so thank you, Mona, for this great presentation, really, and thank you, students, for being a great audience. And we expect to hear from you soon, Mona.